It's the NFL on EA Sports, where London will play host to a different kind of football. It's the Steelers and the reigning Super Bowl champs. Coming up next.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle with the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at our home side in this one. They know coming in they've got to be at their best because they're facing one of the better overall defenses in the NFL.
And this is not one of the better offenses around in terms of running the football. So they understand that they're going to be put to the test a bit. The big plays in the run game, they haven't been there of late. So maybe that means we'll see them shake things up a little bit. Some RPOs, some touch passes, some draw plays, anything. Bit of momentum.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season. Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. Takes it at the 7. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And we get a glance here at their leader, the man who will be calling the plays under center.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some. They threw it accurately. One touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
7 yards to pick up there. On second down now. Corbin.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? Second and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver. Although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive INT. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's third down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Black Knights have taken the early lead. Extra point splits the uprights. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback standing at 6'5".
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe he leans on a few other parts of the offense and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Now a throw downfield is taken in by his running back. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. A first carry for Najee Harris. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On the give, this is Harris. And he's got it across midfield and down to about the 47-yard line. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. And that'll set him back 5. Well, that's a tough, costly penalty because now it makes it 3rd and 6 after the false start. Now Jones. It's brought in by Harris. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Punter Sterling Hoffrichter out now on 4th down. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now, and it's London with the football as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. Out to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Well, when you've got a quarterback like this dead to rights, you got to make sure to wrap up. Instead, though, he breaks free and off he goes. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3 and out and giving the ball back to their offense.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. A surprising move to go for it, and predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Throwing Jones. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's swung out wide to Harris. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. Now a field goal forthcoming for the Steelers. From the right hash, this from an even 40 yards out. And this one is right through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the margin shrinks there as they get the field goal to draw them a bit closer here in this second quarter.
Yeah, nice snap, nice hold. They just want to keep this game close, so give them credit for finishing that one off with 3.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. London about set to take over on offense. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
And he takes it down deep into territory. And they rattle off a big one. They'll look to throw again. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's an excellent play by the defender. He diagnosed that one, closed quickly, and helped force the incompletion.
Trying to go back to Watkins, but it'll be second and goal. Steps away to his left. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a third down situation. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. They'll look to throw on third and goal. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And the Steelers are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Now Jones on 1st and 10. Over the middle and complete to the tight end Higbee. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. And this time they'll just keep this on the ground. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7. We'll get started out in Texas, NRG Stadium in Houston. And it's the Lions who are out in front as they play the second quarter. The Lions seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. From one Texas team to the other, we take the drive up I-45 to Dallas to check on the Cowboys. And it's the visiting Minnesota Vikings who are out in front. Tyreek Hill, a touchdown reception. Finally, we finish at MetLife Stadium to see what's going on with the Jets. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Cleveland Browns. Former number 2 pick Zach Wilson with a couple of touchdown passes. Time now for a check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Steelers. And they did not do much at all in terms of throwing the football in those first 2 quarters. That's going to need to improve if they want to erase this deficit. Meanwhile, on the other side, they had a little more success than their counterparts did in the passing game, as evidenced by the numbers there. Both teams making their final adjustments. We're closing in on the second half. And for the call, let's get you back over to London, where we rejoin Brandon Gaudin.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. From the 6. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. And the Steeler offense ready to get going here in this third quarter. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
From the 29, Jones. Open man is Higbee, the tight end. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Now here's another carry for Harris. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Well, instead of fourth down after the incompletion, it'll be first down, roughing the passer.
Coaches love their defenses to be aggressive, but they want them to be smart as well. Have to leave the quarterback alone at a certain point.
Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up second. Final minute now of the third quarter. To try again after the sack. Jones. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Jones throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Well, the passing windows are just not there, and that's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
And that is incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
So a decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Buying time to his left. Going deep here for Watkins. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. On play action, they'll throw. To the sideline, and he's got it. They say the feet are down. Yes, the line judge says they're in. That'll be a 1st down. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. They'll set up to throw. And, he's unable to hold on to that defensively. A potential game changer, but it falls incomplete. Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. They'll look to throw. And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Jones. And this one is incomplete.
trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Jones. He gets it complete to Harris. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
That catch good for only a couple. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with.
Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. Back to throw. Jones. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. 2nd and 10. Jones. Oh, no, he lost the football. And this will get out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. So, fortunately, they're able to hold on to the possession. So, possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Jones. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Game plan all afternoon. Unable to successfully find the end zone.
He's going to float this one deep right. It's caught inside the 15. And all the way before they drop it. And he can't get taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And he can't get a throw. Counting down to 30 seconds remaining. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Snags it for the pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. When you talk about making winning plays, that is a winning play at this stage of the game. To come up with that interception, huge.
I like how you identified that because most people think winning plays are the offense trying to get it done. In this case, nursing a lead, they found a way to make a maybe finish things off.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. That one looks like he'll throw here. Being chased out left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. And that is caught. One-handed. Oh, my. He pulled it in. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Looking to throw. On the move to his left. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that is incomplete.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Trying to go back to Watkins, and it's 3rd down. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. So plenty of smiles for the folks here as they head for the exits. It's a victory for their hometown guys. And they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game. But when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger. and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for the home team here, they remain one of the hottest teams out there as the win moves them to 6-1. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they dipped to 2-5 now with the loss. And they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants.